When we read Ashura, or when we read the tragedy of Ashura, it's usually full of pain and full of sadness. But this should not stop us from reading Ashura in different perspective. Ashura is full of love and is full of beautiful moments. In our lecture tonight, I'm going to go through some examples in Ashura that shows this beauty of love stories and the beauty of love in Ashura. Then after that, we'll try to have some lessons learned from these stories. And last but not least, we'll discuss how we reach or how we can reach to that level and position of love. Let's go through examples in Ashura that show this love. First, let's discuss the love between Imam Hussain and his companions and his lovers and his followers. You remember at night before the 10th day of Muharram, Imam Hussain gathered his followers and he told them that you are allowed to go. You should go. If you want to go back home, you are allowed. If this is a typical military, people, they said, okay, we finished our duty and we can go back home. But the followers of Imam Hussain, no, they didn't. They insisted to stay with him. They said, we never leave you alone. He told them, I'll be definitely killed in the following day. So if you want to go back home, go. They said no. This is why Imam Hussain, he said, لم أرى أصحابا مثل أصحابي. I have never seen companions like mine. During the day of the battle, it was in the morning, and Imam Hussain, peace be upon him, it was close to the Dhuhr prayer. He asked his companion to ask the enemy if they can hold the fight just for him to pray the last prayer. And you know the lack of the mentality of the enemy, it will not help them to stop and hold the fight. And instead, they will take it as a golden opportunity to attack Imam Hussain while he is praying. During the praying, this is why some companions, they protected Imam Hussain and the followers during the praying. But how? They protected him by the arrows, by their naked bodies. When the prayer finished, when Imam Hussain finished his praying, most of these followers have been killed and fulfilled by the arrows in their bodies. If you can imagine from where they get this bravery, they receive the arrows to their bodies just to protect their leader. There is nothing can explain this, only love. Love equation makes bravery. You know Abbas and his famous statement, حب الحسين أجنني. My love to Imam Hussain makes me crazy. You know, when he went to the battle, he left the sword and the protection. He has been asked, what are you doing here? Are you crazy, Abbas? He said, yes, I am crazy. My love to Imam Hussain makes me crazy. This is love. You know Al-Abbas, when he went to the river to bring some water to the kids, to the thirsty women, when he felt the coldness of the water, he was about to drink some water. But when he remembered his brother, his leader, Al-Hussein, he thrown the water away. If you think about it, if he have some some water, he will be excused, no problem. But no, he will never do it. He just throw the water away. And he said, يا نفس بعد الحسين هوني وبعده لا كنت أو تكوني. Let's move to another kind of love. This is the love between Imam and the followers. Between Al-Hussain alayhi salam and Allah. And think about this. After the tragedy, after the sin, think about the scenario. All his companions have been killed. The family, they are there in the tent. And all the enemies surrounding him. And he is what? He is pleading on the hot sandy ground of Karbala. But he wasn't get panic. And instead, he was talking to Allah. تركت الخلق طرا في هواك وأيتمت العيال لكي أراك فلو قطعتني في الحب إربا لما مال الفؤاد إلى سواك. Oh Allah, I left all people just for you, and I left my kids orphan just to see you. Oh, if you cut me in pieces in your love, my heart will not turn out only to you. This is beyond our imagination. How can we think about this? On that moment, he was singing to Allah. He was talking to Allah in this. And listen to this. And I know everyone knows this. Sayyida Zainab alayha salam. Sayyida Zainab, she was looking at her brother killed without head. She didn't get panic. Instead, she stayed in front of her brother. She was so confident, so strong. One hand she raised her shoulder, and the other hand she raised her hand to the sky. Allahumma in kana hadha yurdik, fakhudh minna حتى ترضى اللهم تقبل منا هذا القربان. Oh Allah, accept our sacrifice. Oh Allah, if this pleases you, please take whatever till you get pleased. How can we explain this? How can you explain this in a traditional way? We are people, human beings. Sayyida Zainab is a human being as well. There is nothing more than love. Love makes things different in life. Makes miserable, harsh moments to us, but to them beautiful. I'm sure that moment of Imam Hussain when he got on the ground of Karbala pleading, it was the most beautiful moment. Because it was very closest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also the third example of love is our love to Imam Hussain. We are blamed as Shia. We are blamed. You are Shia exaggerating. Why are you doing every year doing this? Why are you so sad on Imam Hussain like we are so angry on Allah because Imam Hussain has been killed this way? No. We read every time. When we read ziyarah, Alhamdulillah hamd al-shakirina ala husni musabikum. We are thankful to what happened as incidents. But it's exactly like, let's compare with the Prophet Yaqub. He was so sad on his son, Nabi Yusuf. Joseph. He was so sad, but he was not angry on Allah. But this is also again the equation of love. We love Imam Hussain not for thawab, not for the heaven. It's just we are dissolved in love of Imam Hussain. تبكيك عيني لا لأجل مثوبة لكنما عيني لأجلك باكية. So let's go to the second part of our lecture. How can we learn from these examples? Number one, love gives strength. Love gives confidence. Life, my brothers, has ups and downs. If you are an employee every day, sometimes it's good, sometimes bad. Also, if you are a student, sometimes you get good grades, sometimes you get bad grades. If you are a husband, sometimes you have problems with your wife, sometimes you have problems with your friends. This life, with struggling, without love and close love to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will be struggled with life. So if you do not arm yourself with love, you will get depression. And this is why you see the increasing rate of depression diseases in the West, because of the vacuum of this kind of fuel to your spirit. Love makes you positive. عجيب أمر ابن آدم إن صابه خير شكر وإن صابه شر صبر. Oh, the matter of the believer is strange. If something good happens to him, he will be thankful. If things happen to him bad, he will be patient. So stability of life is important, and this is by love. Also, the third, love beautifies your morality. And this is very important, my friends. With love, makes you love everything surrounding you, regardless of religion, of things beside you or against you. And we can see examples of Prophet Muhammad when he went to the Ta'if and he tried to convince people to enter Islam. And what was their reaction? They thrown garbage, they hit him by stones, and then he stand beside to have some rest, and he prayed, Allahumma ghfir li ummati فَإِنَّهُمْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. So how beautiful Prophet Muhammad, how merciful he is. Even Imam Hussain in Karbala, when he got a speech to the enemy, he tried to convince them, أَلَسْتُ إِبْنَ بِنْتِ نَبِيِّكُمْ, I am your grandson, just leave me alone, just leave me to go back to. He was not like feared, no, just to try this, what you are doing is wrong. Then, when he saw them ignoring him, he cried. His tears dropped. Why are you crying? He has been asked. I'm crying for them, for these people, because they are going to the hell because of me. See? Examples how love beautify your morality. The third, last but not least, how can we reach that position of love? And I'll just give three points in this. Number one, at-taqwa and self-purification. Taqwa and self-purification is very important in Islam. It's been mentioned in Quran several times. Your heart must be purified from evil, from envy, from if it is filled with evil, or if it is filled of illegal love, for example. You young guys, nowadays it's very easy to engage with the other gender by Facebook or social media. If your heart is fulfilled with illegal things, there will be no space for your heart to love Allah or Allah love you. So be cautious. And last but not least, fuel your spirit with dua. And this is very important. Besides reciting Al-Quran, we need to learn how to talk to Allah. And we, in Shia, we have these 3 books, very important books. زين العابدين, صحيفة السجادية, مفاتيح الجنان, and ضياء الصالحين. They are filled with ad'iyah prayers that teaches us how we talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And before I finished, I'll try to read some dua, munajat al-muhibbin. As this is the night of Jum'ah, it's good to read some dua. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. إلهي من ذا الذي ذاق حلاوة محبتك فرام منك بدلا ومن ذا الذي أنس بقربك فابتغى عنك حولا إلهي فاجعلنا ممن اصطفيته لقربك وولايتك وأخلصته لودك ومحبتك وشوقته إلى لقائك ورضيته بقضائك ومنحته بالنظر إلى وجهك وحبوته برضاك وأعذته من هجرك وقلاك. And before we conclude, I'd like just to have this opportunity to ask each one of you to recite Al-Fatiha. Tonight is the night of the youths. Tonight is the night of Al-Qasim. And we want to commemorate our Qatif murders and your died loved ones, and also my mother, who I miss her this moment very much because she died this year. So please recite Al-Fatiha إلى أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات تسبقها الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد.